these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank all of you for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call today. Let us move on to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru ki jai. This is Aditi Devi Dasi from Canada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji, Danvat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Padmasaki Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas. I have a small message from Dhir Govind Prabhuji. I would like to read that. One of his friend's wife has breast tumor removal surgery tomorrow. So he's requesting everyone to chant one time Hare Krishna on the call. So I request everyone to please chant for this Mataji who is going for this surgery. Let us all unmute ourselves and chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Nrsimhadev. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, for joining the call and always trying to help everybody. Thank you so much. Anybody else would like to introduce?
Hare Krishna, Padmasaki Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shyamaguri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shyamaguri Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining the call and very beautiful background as always. Radha Shyam Sundar ki jai.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Daksdat from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvind Daksh Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Padmasaki Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Rana.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Saki Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining the call, and thank you for that beautiful reading day before yesterday. Couldn't tell you that.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Padmasaki Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, to all the assembled devotees. This is Megha from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Megha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Go ahead, better.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji. Thank you so much for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam, Padmasaki Gopi, you and all Vaishnava. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Padmasaki Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devi Dasi from Lincoln.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Karna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. I think Prabhuji is not on the call yet.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all Guru Maharajas, all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Shiromani Nandarani Devi from Krishna Katarish. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Shiromani Nandarani Mataji. Thank you so much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Padmasaki Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Priti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I think Prabhuji. Mataji, Prabhuji is not on the call yet, right?
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Lalitangi Mataji has called you. He said you.
Shall we start with the introduction?
Yes, Mataji.
Somebody else wants to introduce. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare.
Should we do the introduction, Mataji? Prabhuji will take 7 to 10 minutes to join. What to do now? Should we read the verse as well? Shamagori Mataji?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Introduction.
Yes, okay, we'll do introduction. Okay, before Prabhuji joins the call, I request Aditi Mataji to please give a brief introduction about Prabhuji. Please take over.
Hare Krishna, all, please accept my humble obeisances. This is a brief introduction for His Grace Keshavanand Prabhuji. Keshavanand Prabhuji was a professional doctor prior to becoming a full-time practicing monk. For the past 20 years, he has conducted extensive research and authored books in the field of science and spirituality. He feels the rift between science and spirituality must disappear to bring peace in the world. Keshavanand Prabhuji has studied both Vedic and Western philosophy. Besides learning Sanskrit, he also learned Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, and Kannada to know about other traditions. His persistent endeavor in the field of science and spirituality has enabled him to come up with seminars on diverse topics like science and Vedas, mind and machines, science fails to explain life, consciousness and beyond, etc., that he has presented in various colleges in India, Europe, and America. Under the guidance of his spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami, he has also started a Gurukula, a traditional system of Vedic education in Punjab, India, where children learn the ancient Vedic culture and values. He has also started a farm community that follows a traditional way of living with mud huts and thatched roofs and cows, and of course, farming. The communities will set a model for the world to show how to live a life based on the principle of simple living, high thinking. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for beautifully presenting Prabhuji's introduction. So I welcome you all.
Mataji, should we chant till Prabhuji joins?
Anybody wants to sing bhajan, they can sing.
Balurunda.
Mataji, she'll be busy going to school.
Can I sing if you don't mind? Can I sing?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you. I will sing on the Gopi Geet, one song, which I heard from yesterday. Kanhaiya, 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 पुकारा करेंगे लताओं में ब्रिज की निहारा करेंगे कन्हैया कन्हैया पुकारा करेंगे लताओं में ब्रिज की निहारा करेंगे. Yes. Can I continue? कहीं तो मिलेंगे.
Prabhuji joined.
Prabhuji has
Hare Krishna. What's happening? You are doing poetry or what?
No. I was just singing a song. There was some time left. कहीं तो मिलेंगे खुदा के बिहारी.
Anyway, just forget.
Mataji, can we start the recording? So welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call once again. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Keshavanand Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 2, verse number 17 onwards. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable time and association to all of us this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Please take over the call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Just wanted to ask, is my voice clear?
No, Prabhuji, it's breaking.
Breaking, yeah.
What happened?
He'll log in. I think he left.
No, he's still there, Mataji.
Oh, is it? I thought.
Did not connect to audio. He's coming, Mataji, again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is my voice clear? Or my
It's breaking, Prabhuji. The network is not good.
breaking? Fine. Just a minute. I just another. Just hold on. Let me. क्या हुआ?
अब सही है.
Now it's okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, fine. Just a minute. Yeah, I think now it's connected here. Okay. So have you read the verse?
Not yet, Prabhuji.
Okay. So I'll read, no problem. It's 6th canto, 2nd chapter, 17th verse. Taistani aghani puyante tapodan brata adivi na dharmajam tad dhridayam tad api shangri sevaya. Translation buffered by Srila Prabhupada. All the Burman neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, wars, and other such methods. These pious activities cannot uproot the material desires in one's heart. However, one serves the lotus feet of personality of Godhead, is immediately freed from all such contaminations. Purport. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.42, Bhakti Pareshanu Bhavo Virakti Netacho, devotional service is so powerful that one who performs devotional service is immediately freed from all sinful desires. All desires within this material world are sinful because material desire means sense gratification, which always involves action that is more or less sinful. Pure bhakti, however, is anabhlashita shunyam. In other words, it is free from material desires, which results from karma and jnana. One is situated in devotional service no longer has material desires, and therefore is beyond sinful life. Material desires should be completely stopped. Otherwise, although one's austerity, penance, charity may free one from sin for a time being, one's desire will reappear because his heart is impure. Thus, he will act sinfully and suffer. Taistani aghani puyante. Aghani means sinful activities. Puyante means vanquished. Tapadan vratadivi na adharmajam tad hridayan tad hridayam tad api isha angri sevaya. Okay, that's how it goes. So this is yeah, I think it's done. So this is the verse. I think this Ajamil discussion is going on, and this verse is important because this verse is glorifying devotional service in comparison to other processes like austerity, charity, vows, and other pious activities. The idea is devotional service can destroy not only sins but also sinful desires. That's the idea. So any other process like jnana, karma, yoga, it can destroy sinful reactions. And because when sinful reactions are destroyed, then mind becomes peaceful. You experience peace. So that is why yogis and jnanis, they keep on continuing their process. As the sins go down, they experience peace and some kind of happiness also because of that peace, some kind of relief from all the distractions of mind. So they continue their process. But because the sinful desires are still there in subtle level, that is why most of them fall down again. That's what Brahmaji says in that famous verse. What is that? Another Sonadrita Yushma Danangreya Aru Yakrichena Parampadam Tata Patanti Adhonadrita Yushma Danangreya. So the very difficult process. They all, I mean to say, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga, a very difficult process. We can't even imagine to follow it. To follow jnana yoga, you need at least 4 qualifications according to Shankara. You need to follow jnana process. You need vairagya, renunciation, and you need what's that? Shat sampatti, good qualities, good brahmanical qualities. Mumukshatva, intense desire to attain liberation, and knowledge. So this technically is called a Chatu Sampatti. Shankaracharya said, if you want to attain God, you need these 4 pre-qualifications. Who has knowledge, who has renunciation, who has intense desire to attain liberation, all good qualities. That's impractical. So process of jnana, although few people walk on it, Dhyana yoga is more difficult than Jnana yoga. There is all chakras and kundalini, and you have to go and leave everything and go somewhere. So that's impractical and difficult, but at the same time, they are risky also. Because why? Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written a book, Prem Pradeep, and he writes in that book that these processes are not only dangerous, but they're risky. Dangerous because these processes are not only difficult but dangerous. So these are difficult, first of all, because to get knowledge you need to know Sanskrit. To do dhyana yoga, your body should be perfect and blah blah blah. But they are also dangerous because on this process you get a lot of dhyana yoga, you get a lot of powers, siddhiya, and it's very easy to become distracted by all these powers. And jnana yoga is dangerous because then you start feeling that you are scholarly. You can't avoid it after having so much knowledge. So they are quite risky. Bhaktivinoda Thakur makes one more point. It's an interesting point in Prem Pradeep. He says Dhyana Yoga is very dangerous process because if you practice Dhyana Yoga, you will become healthy. That's quite an interesting point, isn't it? All these Ramdev Baba, Patanjali, you see, you do all these asanas and you become healthy. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says it's a risk, because if you become healthy, then you will not feel the need of surrendering to Krishna. You will not. Your perfect health. So why do I need Krishna? So he picks up that point. And also he makes another point. These processes are very dangerous because you will experience intense peace. So if your mind is peaceful, if your mind is healthy, body is healthy, then who requires Krishna? You don't require him. And that is why demigods, they find it difficult, very difficult to surrender to Krishna, because they don't get diseased. In heavenly planet, they don't get disease. So, and practically their mind is free of, their heavenly planets is practically it's free of anxieties. There's a lot of enjoyment, so they don't feel the need to surrender to Krishna. That is why disease and old age, it's mercy of Krishna. All the fools see, not fools, I mean to say, neophytes and fools, they might see disease and old age as an obstacle. But wise people, they see disease and old age as mercy. Because as you become old, you become dependent, you become, you lose your intellectual and physical capabilities, and then you feel, oh, I should do some devotion. And people say, jab bude ho jaoge tab bhakti karna. Nahi, it's natural. It's like that. So according to a Paramahamsa, according to advanced devotees, everything is mercy. Of course, the function of that mercy might be different. The function of seeing birth and death and disease and old age, if you see it in proper context, it is helping you to surrender to Krishna. That's one thing. Even lust, it's mercy of Krishna. You might say, come on, that's crazy, but that's not crazy. It depends in what level of devotion you are. lust is an obstacle which is put by Krishna himself to help us surrender to him, because if there is no obstacle, then we'll not surrender to him, isn't it? External, internal obstacles. If our mind is, you see, it often happens with us. If we are okay, we are in good condition, then our chanting is not so good. But when there are problems in life, then we chant with a lot of prayers and a lot of emotions, isn't it? It's like that. So actually, once I was in Chapati, and there was an earthquake there, like it was moving. So all of us, we ran out the temple. So the devotees were there. They ran out, and then they were shouting Krishna, Krishna, and then so then I think Radha Maharaj, he came and he said, well, it's good if you would have if earthquake would have continued, because everybody was shouting for Krishna with their heart, isn't it? Otherwise, it's just some kind of voice kirtans like that, something. So that's the idea. So that is why problems are our guests. Remember that. Remember this line. Don't see problems as your enemies. They are your guest. Invite them, stay with them, and they will teach you many things before they go by themselves. But for weak people, they see problems as a danger, as an obstacle. They try to avoid problems, and in the end, they don't learn anything. They might find a solution to problems, but in the end, they lose, because even if they solve the problem, the function of the problem is lost. Now, you see, there is a story in this. There's a small story. So God asked one person to push a stone, and he was pushing the stone like year after years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and it was a big stone, and he couldn't move it. So he was completely frustrated, and he said to God, see, you asked me to push the stone, but I can't move it. I failed. So God said, I didn't ask you to move the stone. I asked you to push the stone. So he said, why? God said, well, I wanted to make you strong. You see, you have been pushing the stones in 20 years, and now your muscles are strong, your stamina is more, and you are more resistant to heat and cold, because you are pushing in heat, cold, summer. You're more strong than before. That's what I wanted. I didn't want that you should put the stone. Now that's the whole point. If you imagine stone as a problem, nobody's asking you to solve the problem. What Krishna is asking, stay with it. Stay with it. That's all. Keep on continuing devotion, and they will teach you many things. And so lust is an internal problem. Lust, anger, envy, greed. External problems, material world. We all read Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, and Adi Devi Klesh, all these things, all this theory. So there are so many other problems. My clothes are lost, my vessels are lost, my gas is not there. It is like small petty problems are all there. So there are so many problems, and that is why Vyasadev said Kali Yuga is the best age. He said, of all ages, Kali Yuga is the best. And rishis were all the rishis, they said, Vyasadev, we have got mad. What's this? Kaler dosho nidhe rajan. There are so many faults, but eko astiyo eko mahan guna. One great benediction is there. You chant holy names. That is one thing. Kali Yuga is the best age, because in Kali Yuga, simply by chanting holy names, you get benefit. But there is another view to understand. Kali Yuga is the best age because there's so many problems. That's the best age. Children who are pampered by their parents, they become spoiled. And those children who are whose parents don't pamper them, don't help them, and they say you have to work hard yourself, earn yourself, they become successful in this life. This is what Krishna does. And that is the beauty of devotional service, by the way. That's what it is said in this verse. These activities cannot uproot material desires in one's hearts. Why? Because austerity, charity, vows, and other pious activities, why they cannot uproot material desires? Why devotion can uproot? What's the so secret in devotional life? The point is, in devotional life, there are two things. One is power of holy name. Of course, that's one thing. And so we have to discuss how holy name is working on our heart and destroying desires. But the another thing in devotional life is actually guidance of Krishna. That's very important. And there are so many things in scriptures, what to learn, what not to learn. Srila Prabhupada said in one of his interview, one of the, I don't know, one reporter or somebody was asking, Prabhupada was saying that he was saying that there are so many things in scriptures, Vedanta, Sutra, Vedas, and this and that and that. Prabhupada said, we don't need to know anything. We only need to know what Krishna is telling us. That's all. Finish. So devotional life is so beneficial that we have Krishna. We don't need to focus on what other rishis are saying, other Vedic scriptures are saying. Krishna says that's perfect. That faith we have. That faith we have. And Krishna's principles are beautiful. Krishna says, okay, no problem. Krishna says, in devotional life, Krishna says, be tolerant. There are so many good qualities. Humbleness, tolerance, and all these qualities help us to focus on devotion and coexist with this material life. And so not only coexist, but devotion will make you so intelligent that you will learn from those things which others try to avoid. That's the beauty of devotion. And that is what Hari Bhakti Vilas, there is a verse, beautiful verse, Prabhupada used to say, Prabhupada used to quote, and that verse is, so mat kritam papam punyam. How is that verse? Mat kritam papam. Anything, any sinful thing which is done for me, that becomes pious thing. And any pious activity which is not done for me, that is sinful. That's a beautiful verse, by the way. So what in the end Krishna is saying, that anything which is done for Krishna, anything which is connected to Krishna, whether negative or positive, it'll give you wisdom. It will give you wisdom. Anything which is disconnected from Krishna, it will not give you wisdom, because that's illusion. Rite artham et pratiyete na pratiyete chahatmani tad vidadatmano maya mitha vasudhavatama. Maya is to see things disconnected from God and at the same time consider them valuable. That's Maya. So any other process will not actually help you to advance, because no other process trains you how to see everything in connection with God. No other process does. That's the crux of Krishna consciousness. Austerity, vows, and all these things, they can keep on going, but they will not train you. Devotion life, it begins with this training. Everything is connected to God. That's Sambandh Gyan. That is where we begin. Which is this verse? I just lost it. 6.2. Just a minute. Yeah. So that's devotional life. So that is why by following devotion, your material desires get dissolved. That's the reason, because material desires are produced by Maya. Maya means to see everything disconnected with God. Any other process, it doesn't give you knowledge of Sambandh Gyan technically. We begin with Sambandh Gyan. And if everything is connected to God, then even your problems are connected with God. Even your lust is connected with God. Even your enviousness is connected with God. And that's the point there, which I was just trying to explain in this past few minutes. But the technique is to learn how they are connected to God. That is called the process. Sambandh Gyan is to know everything is connected to God. Process is how they are connected. Everything is connected to God in their own way. Just like just like you are there as an individual, your whole family is connected to you, but every person is connected to you in a different way. Your son is connected to you in a parental relationship. Your husband or wife in a husband wife relationship. Your mother, father. You see, every person is connected to you in a different way. So everything is connected to Krishna, but everything is connected to Krishna in a different way. That is a process. Our process to understand how things are connected to Krishna. That's our process. And to learn how things are connected to Krishna, to learn that, there is Shravanam Kirtanam. You see the point there? We are hearing, we are chanting. By hearing, we know how things are connected. And by chanting, we can remember that. Chanting gives you the power to remember, otherwise you'll forget. You will see some beautiful thing and you'll forget everything. So Shravanam Kirtan helps us to remember actually these two things. Everything is connected to Krishna and how they are connected. And then our material desires dissolve. Material desires will not dissolve just like that. If you simply finish your 16 rounds and just read something daily as a ritual, then nothing is going to happen. You can keep on doing your whole life. Bahu janma jadi kare shravana kirtan, tabu to na paye Krishna pade premadhan. This Mahaprabhu says, if you chant for millions of births, still you will not attain Krishna prem. Why? One of the answer to this question in this verse is because we are doing offenses. But the basis of all offenses is to not understand what you are doing and simply keep on doing. That's the basis of all offenses. So we have to be careful what we are doing. So although that is why you see practically devotees are chanting holy names. All devotees are chanting holy. I mean to say, many are not even chanting, finishing their rounds. But those who are finishing their rounds, they are reading Bhagavatam, trying to do whatever they can. But still, after many years, they find their material desires are same as it is. Sometimes even more. So why this is happening? Their heart is not getting purified. Why? Because they're confusing. They're confusing the process with a technique. Chanting and hearing we are doing chanting and hearing as a technique. We are not doing Hare Krishna. Somebody is unmuted. We are doing chanting and hearing as a technique. We are not doing chanting and hearing as a process. And the difference is, if you're doing chanting and hearing as a technique, then you will try to finish your rounds and finish your reading, daily reading. That's all. But if you're following chanting and hearing as a process, then you will chant and hear and try to understand why we are chanting and why we are hearing. What do we want from this? So what do we want from this? By chanting and hearing, we will understand how things are connected to Krishna, and we will remember it when we are moving in this material world and interacting with so many sense objects. Every second we are interacting. I mean to say, so I'm not saying that you'll remember everything when you're doing job and everything. That's not the point. You might be in temple full time. The idea is we are interacting with sense objects, and sense objects are tempting, sense objects are attracting. So we'll tend to forget everything. So that is the idea. It's remembrance. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Smaranam is the effect of Shravanam and Kirtana. Kirtana prabhave smarana hobe se kale nirjana bhajana sambhav. So that's the point. Why we are chanting and hearing? To have remembrance. What kind of remembrance? Do we want to remember the face of Krishna, the fruit of Krishna? Yes. But more than that, we want to remember the fact that things are connected to him and how they are connected. That knowledge we have to keep in mind. Otherwise, we'll go into illusion, completely into illusion. So, and that when we remember it 24 hours, then we become pure. Purity means to see everything in connection to Krishna according to devotional life. And once you see everything connected to Krishna, Bhakti Thakur says in the same song, Tumara kanak bhoge rajana, sakali kevala madhava. Whatever you see as an object of sense enjoyment, it is for the enjoyment of Krishna. Everything belongs to him. That's the idea. We have to remember it. Otherwise, we'll fall into sense gratification. We become impure. Simple. That's our philosophy, by the way. So that is a scientific explanation how devotion purifies material desires. I explained you just, it is not enough to say, oh, we'll chant holy names, our heart will become pure. How? That's how explained now in this talk. How our heart becomes pure by doing devotional service. A heart becomes pure only when we do Shravan Kirtan, not as a technique, but as a process. By process, I mean to remember what is a goal of Shravanam and Kirtan. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So that's one thing. Another point in this verse is that you see all sinful reactions. Rupa Goswami says, Koot Beach, was that Prarabdha? All other processes, they will dissolve and burn Prarabdha or Prarabdha, fructified reactions and unfructified. But as far as Kuta Beach, that means the desire to do sinful activities, that doesn't get dissolved. That also you can handle to a certain extent. Gyan Yoga can help you to get relieved of certain desires to do sinful reactions. It's not that they don't help. Karm Kand, that doesn't help in any way to remove desires. That's only concerned with sinful reactions. Jnana Yoga and Dhyana Yoga, they remove sinful reactions as well as to some degree some desires to enjoy. But Bhakti Yoga completely vanquishes desire, and not only desires, not only Kuta Beach, but beyond Kuta Beach, Avidya. Avidya means Avidya means the tendency. Here Avidya means enviousness of Krishna. From where our desires are originating, sinful desires. So bhakti is working on the core. Not so this verse is just saying that your desires are sinful desires are vanquished. But bhakti is going much deeper than that. Not just desires. Bhakti is questioning from where these sinful desires are coming. Why? If we are spirit souls, if we are pure, why these material desires? The answer is avidya. Avidya means enviousness of Krishna. That nescience we are having, that bhakti will destroy. Because we don't like Krishna, that is why we have these sinful desires. By sinful desires, Prabhupada explaining, sinful desires means the tendency to enjoy. Sinful desire doesn't mean you're killing somebody or you are doing theft. So normal materialistic word, stealing, killing, these are sinful, or intoxication, with 4 rules we follow. But according to devotional insight, everything is sinful in this material. Prabhupada says everything is more or less sinful. Material desires means sense gratification, which always involves action that is more or less sinful. So material desires, sinful desires, is sense gratification. So as soon as we enjoy, we are doing a sin. And that is called material desires. And why we are enjoying anything in this material world? Because we don't like Krishna. That's all. Because we don't like Krishna, so we don't want to give that beautiful thing to Krishna, and we want to take for ourselves. That is called sense gratification. If we like Krishna, then we want to give him. Just like a mother. If a mother likes something, a food or any item, first she will give to her child, isn't it? She will make something, food item, and she will taste, oh, this is nice. Let me give to my baby. Like that. Because she likes her child. She loves her child. Similarly, if we love Krishna, if we like him, we'll give to Krishna first. But sense gratification means you take and not give. This is called envy. So the fact that we are all doing sense gratification, we are all envious of Krishna. So we can't say that we love him until we are freed from sense gratification 100%. That will be a lie. That will be cheating ourselves. We will be cheating ourselves. So we should not say I love Krishna. You are speaking a lie. You are implicating yourself in sinful reaction. What we can say is better. What we can say is, I long to love Krishna. I want to love. That's a good statement. That's a humble and realistic statement. Otherwise, we are hypocrite. We are doing sense gratification, and at the same time, we are saying I love Krishna. These two things are not possible. It's impossible. So that's the point which Prabhupada is making. Prabhupada is making here this point. Sinful, all desires which is material but are sinful, because material desires means sense gratification. So although there are 4 regulative principles in Krishna consciousness, no intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating, and no, what's the 4th? I forgot. No meat eating, no intoxication,
No illicit sex.
Yeah. So for 4 regulative principles, we forgot that. That's a pathetic situation. Anyway, so 4 regulative principles are there. So we okay, this is sinful, we are going to leave it. But actually that's a starting. These are gross sinful desires. But then slowly we advance in devotion and we realize, my God, my whole life is sinful, because every second I am doing sense gratification. I am even trying to enjoy Krishna. What about that? That realization will come when we are a bit advanced. Otherwise, we'll not even realize that we are enjoying Krishna. That is very difficult to realize. In fact, this Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, Shatrughan is there. Shatrughan, the name of Shatrughan is Shatrughan because Ghan means destroy, Shatru means enemy. He destroyed the great enemy, and the greatest enemy is to enjoy God. He didn't accompany Ram. He said, well, I can accompany Ram, but I don't want to enjoy him. I want to serve him. So we might not realize we are enjoying Krishna, but we might be enjoying him. So this material sense gratification is sinful, and even if we are devotee, most of the time we are leading a sinful life. And the proof of that, you might say, Keshavanand Prabhu, you're stupid and mad by what you're saying. But the proof of this is that we are not feeling bliss in devotion. Always. It's not happening. Am I right? I don't know about you all devotees, but you might be floating in bliss, but I'm not. It's not easy. Chanting is difficult and devotion is difficult. Sometimes it's blissful, but many times it's frustrating, and we have to carry on because we understand why we are doing devotion and the other things. But it's not always blissful. We are not jumping up and down in ecstasy, and it's not happening always. And the proof of this is we are leading a sinful life. The proof is there's no bliss always, and more important than that, the proof is while chanting, we are not able to remember Krishna spontaneously. Nothing is happening. It's just chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So that's a proof. So somewhere or the other, we are doing something wrong. Otherwise, this process is powerful. It's going to give effect. If you have fever and if you take aspirin, your fever should go down. So what's the problem? You took aspirin, your fever doesn't go down. What's the problem? The problem is probably you didn't take the prescribed dosage. Doctor said 3 times a day, but you took once. Or another problem could be that tablet is not aspirin. You took something else. You took a sugar pill instead of aspirin. Otherwise, it should work. So holy name should work and it will work, but it's not working. So there's a problem in us somewhere. And the problem is this, that we are doing material sense gratification. We are involved in sense gratification. We are involved in sinful life, even while we are doing devotion. And that's what Sukadeva Goswami is saying. If one serves the lotus feet of personality of Godhead, is immediately free from all such contamination. Now, here the point is to understand what is service. That's the point I'm coming to. In devotion, you can enjoy devotion or you can serve devotion. There are two things. You can enjoy Krishna or you can serve him. You can enjoy holy name or you can serve holy name. You can enjoy Bhagavatam or you can serve Bhagavatam. You can enjoy lecture or you can serve lecture. You think about it, what I'm saying. There's two very different things. But to distinguish between these two is very difficult. You're enjoying holy name, you're serving him. You will not even understand what's the question. What do we mean by enjoying holy name? What do we mean by serving holy name? I'm chanting holy name. You will not even understand it. To understand this statement requires a level of devotion. Entire life of Bhakti Siddhanta was this, to explain what do we mean by enjoying holy name? What do we mean by serving holy name? His entire life was that. What do we mean by enjoying Krishna or serving him? Enjoying prasad or serving prasad? I mean to say, we have a different dictionary. We say eating prasad. We say seeing Krishna. We say chanting holy name. But this is not the dictionary of Bhakti Siddhanta or Srila Prabhupada or Gaudiya Vaishnavas. This is not the dictionary. We don't talk like that. This is mundane language. Students of Bhagavatam don't talk like that. So we don't say we are eating prasad or honoring prasad. We say, are you serving prasad? So what do we mean by that? If we serve prasad, are we not supposed to eat it? Yeah, definitely eating. But then what do you mean by that? We don't say you see Krishna. We say, are you enjoying Krishna or are you serving him? So are we not supposed to see his deity? No, we are supposed to see and appreciate his beauty. But then what do you mean by serving and enjoying Krishna? So you see, our dictionary and terms are very different. And that is why you see, although Bhagavatam says if you serve lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead, you're immediately freed from all sense gratification, all sinful desires. But this is not happening because we have not grasped the concept of service. What is service? What is enjoyment? We have to really understand and do PhD in this subject matter. What is service? Devotion means service, but what do we mean by service? How illusion can confuse us between service and enjoyment? What is a result of service? What are we looking for when we are serving Krishna? All these questions has to be absolutely clear if we want to attain love of God. Otherwise, nothing is going to happen. You can just sit in your house, keep on chanting, do whatever you want, but it will not go love of God. Love of God is not easy to attain, isn't it? Or is it easy? I don't know. You might think it's easy, but Manushanam sahaseshu kasyadati siddhaya tatamapi siddhanam kaschin mam vedi. That out of thousands of devotees, one will attain love of God. It's precious. Krishna doesn't distribute like that. Who will get? Who understands all these things? Either you read or you associate with devotees. Try to meditate on these points. Try to solve these questions. Ask help from Krishna. He will help you. He will inspire you from within your heart. But the questions has to be there with you before you answer them. If questions are not there, then how do you answer them? That is why I'm giving you questions today. I'm not giving you answer. I've given you many questions. You go and think what I've said. It might take you a whole lifetime or many years, or you might solve these questions quickly. Depends how much you think about it. So that's this verse all about. I think I'll stop here because there's so many things I've talked. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions? I've given any questions, but yeah, to solve them. But any questions other than these?
Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance.
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhuji, you said, yeah, like, jab vipatti aati, when the problems come, we all get so worried, and you said you must invite the problem as guest. But first, for example, for me, I always think, why Krishna? Why only me? I'm doing the bhakti.
Oh, you should not think like that. If you think why me, then Krishna will really become annoyed. Really become annoyed. Seriously, because this is there was a devotee job in Bible, and Krishna sent him a lot of problems. One problem after that. His house got burned, his family got destroyed, his whole business got flattened, and he got serious disease. But he was chanting Krishna's name, but in the end, God's name. But in the end, he said, "Why me?" And the voice of God came, and he said, "How dare you ask me this question?" I'll not answer. He didn't answer. But he said, "How dare you ask me this question? Why me? Don't you think whatever I'm doing, that's the best for you?" So why me? This question itself carries blasphemy on the faith. You see the point there?
Yes.
So, so yeah, this question is dangerous.
Well,
it's not your problem. It's not your problem. Everybody, 99% devotees, they will say in problems, why me? You're right. That happens. That's a reflex.
Yeah, हमेशा सुनते हैं कि why me? हमने तो इतना सब कुछ किया. We did so much.
बस.
But that's so nice to hear this. Like, we invite the problem as guests, let them stay. And when it gets all good, resolve and send them back home. It was a beautiful thing to learn today. We learn lessons from the problem. We always learn lesson. And and we need to stay connected to the Shravanam and Kirtanam. That was beautiful, wonderful. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, anybody else? Otherwise, we'll just.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I think you touched my heart because I go through every day these kind of situations that towards the sinful desires, towards many things like this, right? So I was wondering, one point of time, I also realized that as long as you're in a comfort zone, I don't think I'll think about Krishna.
Definitely.
I will be just nice house, nice comfort, even devotional service, go nice prasadam. I'm having, as you said, I'm enjoying in Krishna consciousness myself, not for pleasing Krishna, right?
That's
so I
true.
think
you got the point.
I got the point, Prabhu. So it's actually, I'm enjoying Krishna consciousness, not like Prabhupada gave us so many things and we are really enjoying because he did so much austerity in his life for all of us. But if we think that the comfort has come from Prabhupada to enjoy, I'm doomed. Wherever I'm going, I'm completely doomed. So my thing was like, it was hard, eye-opening the way you, gave us everything. But my question is, what is this enjoyment means is $1 million question for me, because, enjoy for me, enjoy for Krishna. It's how do I just segregate and differentiate?
That's a question. That's a question I've given you all to think about. So maybe next class you make me remember and I will tell this answer. But actually, you know what? I want you all to think, because if I give you this answer, then devotees will not appreciate. You might, because you need this answer, but yeah, please think about this. That's a $1 million question. You're absolutely right. The next class I'll give this answer. Well, make me remember.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Next we have Sukakara Krishna Prabhuji. Please go ahead, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Keshavanand Prabhu. Accept my humble obeisance. Prabhu, you told that the greatest enemy is enjoying Krishna. Actually, when we do go for some kirtan, somebody singing nicely, so we are not supposed to think that I'm happy to hear. I should think that, oh, here I'm serving, and I don't know how to take that. You're giving the Bhagavatam.
Yeah. That's a question for you all. That's the question I've given. What do you mean by serving? What do you mean enjoying? So that you have to figure out. That's a homework. But you have understood the problem. Now you have to get the answer. So ask me next class, and it's a very important question. How do we know that we are serving or enjoying? What we are doing? What should happen? It's a very important question.
No, one thing has come in my mind. When I always feel that I am so low that God has given me, if I with gratefulness I chant, that means I'm serving. But if I'm thinking that, oh, I'm in Krishna consciousness for 35 years and I'm this, that, then you are enjoying, you are just proud. If you are always the Jiva Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das, and with that feeling, I'm in reckless condition.
That is one part. That is one part, you're correct. But then there are many other things. I mean to say, this is your feeling, but then, so this is something subjective. But there are some objective signs by which you can tell you're serving and or enjoying. That you have to figure out.
But Prabhu, you told lust is also going to help in Krishna. I don't understand that one. You told me, that even lust also is there. So that is the biggest dangerous thing. But I don't know, how do you say that the lust also is a good thing?
It's a question. Homework. It's a good thing. You figure out. You think about it.
मुश्किल पे डाल दिया हमें सब लोग को
सोचने में डाल दिया सोचने में ठीक है अगली बार मुझे क्वेश्चन याद दिलाइएगा और मैं करूंगा आंसर
मैं लिख के रखा हूं
या ओके
Next, I think you have done doctorate in all these things. आपको बहुत ज्ञान है. You have gone through and you have faced and you have helped people. That's why you are able to tell so many things that ऐसे परिस्थिति हुआ है. You have seen and you are going through and helping people. That's why you are in a level where
something.
Rita Mataji has a question. You can please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have one question. When problems comes, mind is distracted, negative thoughts coming. So how to balance the mind for proper
chant nicely. Chant nicely. That's the whole thing. Chant and hear good things. You hear lectures?
Yeah, I lectures.
So, but you have to choose. You have to choose whom to hear. You have to hear some good stuff, some deep knowledge. Otherwise, nothing is. Otherwise, your mind will get disturbed. So, take knowledge, deep knowledge, and chant nicely. Then things can happen.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for that answer. Next, we have Haripriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji and all the devotees, please accept my humble obeisance. Prabhuji, so this is enjoying means karma or desire is the main kuta.
What's this?
Mataji, hear you.
Your connection is going down.
Okay, so Prabhuji, the enjoying ourselves or so enjoying or desiring that's calm. So that's the kut or bij, Prabhuji?
No, that is bij. That is bij, a seed.
Seed. So kut come first or bij?
No. First bija, then kuta, then a prarabdha, then prarabdha. It's like that.
Okay, so
bija is seed. Yeah, bija is seed, and then the kut is inclination. Bija is desire, and then when your desire increases, then you have inclination to do something wrong, and then you do it. So that inclination is skuta.
And that's the main culprit, and that's come from the mind, Prabhuji.
Yeah, everything is in mind. Everything is mind.
So the main enemy is the kind of mind. Because of mind, we are having all of this problem. Like soul.
Yeah,
is,
if we can throw our mind in dustbin, then it would have been nice, but we can't do that. So that's the whole problem. We are living with the mind. That's the problem.
Okay, so
mind is not the problem. Mind is not the problem, but we are living with it. That's the problem. Mind cannot be improved. It's a bad boy. But we live with it. We choose to live with it. That's the problem.
Okay, and we have to live with it, right? With this body.
Yeah, we have to live with it because it's in us, but we can choose to not adhere to it. We can choose to not live with it also, in spite of the fact it's with us. If we don't listen to it, that's the idea.
Okay, and there is a very subtle difference between mind and consciousness.
Yeah, in practical terms, it's same. Theory, it's different.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
In chat box, there is a question for you, Prabhuji, from Hiranya Mate. Yeah, she's saying, one sec. So Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my respectful obeisance to your lotus feet. Thank you for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, you said old and disease are mercy of Krishna to remember him. But some people, even they have severe health problem, they are not ready to accept Krishna as supreme personality of Godhead, or they are not believe in any demigods. Also, how to understand this, Prabhuji?
No, so then they are fools. That's all. They don't have knowledge. That's why they are saying. I said only wise people see old age and disease as mercy, not fools. They have no idea. They're ignorant.
Prabhuji, do you have some time? Shall we take more questions, Prabhuji?
Yeah, just one or two questions more. Yeah, you can take. That's fine, because otherwise I'll just.
Piyush Prabhuji.
Oh, Piyush. क्या कर रहे हैं?
Hare Krishna, Dhanusram Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Question that we every the Bhakti Vinod says like we should accept the difficulty that comes. These are like the fortune, but when the situation comes, we try chanting and everything, but and again, but like we still can't get the strength. Is it better now, Prabhuji?
No. You stop your video. फिर होगा cut हो रहा है. हाँ, now speak.
Prabhuji, is it better now?
हाँ.
So like Prabhuji, we hear Bhakti Vinod Thakur to accept these difficulties as a fortune, but Prabhuji, like after hearing this and like praying for this and like chanting, trying everything, when the situation comes again and again, like I always fail. So Prabhuji, like many times I feel like where do we lack the strength to fight these? Many times, but we like situation are so difficult that like we may try to give up on life also. So what is the where do we lack the strength to fight with these situations?
The point is good association. That's one thing, and good chanting. That's the two things. So somewhere we are not chanting properly. I mean to say, we might be chanting properly according to our own standards, but we have to chant properly according to standards of ideal standard. So either we are not chanting properly, or we are not having good association. We are not hearing properly. We are not hearing from proper source. There are two problems there. So we might be thinking we are hearing, we have a proper hearing, but we might not be having. So we have to define what is proper heading and proper chanting, then things can happen. But of course, it takes time also, Piyush. Doesn't happen in one day or 1 year. It's a constant practice. We keep on going, then we become expert, and then nothing happens to the mind.
Yes, because Prabhuji, like, what is the maximum my capacity? What is the maximum possible for me? Like, to whatever extent possible, like we try, but like, there is failure again and again on
No problem. Failure should not fail you. Keep on going. Keep on trying, no problem. Keep on trying. Krishna wants to see that you're trying, and one day he will become happy and things will happen. Just keep on going. That's the
but
idea.
Like when
Okay, so I think
one last question, Prabhuji.
Yeah, last, and then I want to.
Vrinda Gopika Mataji, please ask your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Koti Koti Dandvat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Gopinath Ki Jai. I don't have a question. I take only 50 seconds. Prabhuji, your class is very, very inspiring. It's help us in day-to-day life problem. Every day there is a new problem. Every day there is a new challenging problem. But when we stay with the association of Vaishnava and hear attentively Krishna Katha from senior Vaishnava, senior Brahmachari, then it's directly effect to our japa, Prabhuji. When more and more difficulties came in our life, we become more and more sincere in bhakti, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Koti Koti Dandvat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, there is one. Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the class. My question is, when Guru Maharaj said like
Yeah, somebody is.
like beat your mind with shoes and broom. What does that mean? Means how to do that?
Oh, beat your mind with shoes and broom. Yeah, that means technically it means in the morning meditate upon your faults, and when you're sleeping, meditate upon your offenses what you have committed. This is what that means. So Bhakti Santa is saying always meditate, make a list, what faults you are doing, what offenses you are doing, and try to correct them. That's the idea. Beat your mind with shoes and broomstick. Practically. Okay, so
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, one last question, please. Yes, Prabhuji, whenever we come across situations where we do not have devotees association, when there is a need that we have to be out of devotee association, we have to be in association of non-devotees, then how can we protect ourselves, Prabhuji, from the influence of Maya?
Well, you can't protect yourself if you're out of association. You're gone. It's impossible. Without devotees, we are finished. So if you are without devotees, associations, you have to pray to Krishna. Krishna, please give me association of devotees. Otherwise, we are lost. There is no way we can be protected without association. But one thing I can suggest, until you pray to Krishna, until Krishna gives you good association or association some kind of, until that time, read Prabhupada books. Reading Prabhupada books is taking association from Prabhupada. When you're reading Prabhupada books, you have to read with a consciousness that Prabhupada is speaking to you with this idea. So to a certain extent, you can be saved. So keep on reading books so that you can be saved, but some kind of physical association definitely you require. Good devotees, either on Zoom, if not physically, practically. If you have somewhere in foreign countries, somewhere like in village, somewhere you can't get, no problem. You can take association. Like just like now you are taking association. some kind of association. Of course, it can't replace physical association. That's important. But so if you can't get physical association, connect on internet. If you can't connect on internet, then at least make it a habit to read Prabhupada books daily. So you get association with Srila Prabhupada. That can sort of help you to go forward. And pray to Krishna. Krishna, please provide me good association. Good friends, devotee friends, that's required. Devotee friends whom you can listen, whom you can share your thoughts and your deep confusions and get answers. That's important. So pray to Krishna, and by the time when you do that.
And Prabhuji, whenever we come across some problems, right, we deal with it, and if the problem is solved, afterwards it feels like everything was done by Krishna, not by me. To get the last conclusion, everything happened. Is it exactly that only Krishna did everything in that situation, or we also did something?
Well, if Krishna did something in that situation, then after that situation or problem, you will get a lesson why that problem came, and you will get inspiration in your heart that the problem was you yourself and not anybody. If that inspiration is coming, then it's Krishna. If you are doing something, then that will not come. Then we will think this problem was due to this person, I solved this. That is not Krishna's work. Krishna is always interested to open your heart, and he will show you where you were wrong. And if that's happening, then that's okay, Krishna. If that's not happening, then we are doing.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for these questions.
Okay, so
thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your enlightening class, and we are very grateful to you. We look forward to your association again in future. So we'll end the call. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha.
Keshavanand Prabhu ki jai ho.
Hare Krishna.